Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. This is Katania Alvin speaking from Canada still. Now, there's lots I'm wanting to focus on at the moment, but this one, which is President Trump, here was a picture, because here we see the staff of the White House down here, all waiting and watching, and it's put up by a wonderful woman called Pig Gentle, she calls herself. This is a picture taken today when President Trump, here we are, was boarding the Marine One to travel to Ohio. I thought it was unusual that it appears that staff members were out watching him leave. I've never witnessed that before. And of course this was obviously at the same time that he said he was going to be, we wouldn't see him for some while. Now, we don't know how long that is going to be for, but it's very interesting, because let's have a look at this next link, which is, if I can get it, because this is on Operation Disclosure. So this is the one we were looking at. And now here we've got X22 report, episode 2245. People will now see a different economy. Deep state plan failed. Okay. And then we've got, I won't open that at the moment, might not have time to open it, but you can go and listen to it. Restored Republic via GCR as of the 10th of 2020, 20th of August. Then we've got JF Kennedy Jr., Mass Wish Fulfillment, or Camelot Not Dead. I think a lot of people both think he's still alive and also, let me put it this way, have come to the conclusion, not just think, but are pretty certain he is still alive. And I'm of that mind as well. I think he is. Now, Cabal High Alert, Rhinus Vergan. And here, Zetas on the President's Departure. I've not read that. Anna von Ritz, Smart Cookie. I'll just briefly open it now because it is about vaccines. Now, anyone watching this video, please go on to Operation Disclosure, which you will find in the description box, and look for this one. Now, if I come up here, I think you can probably see, because last time, if you go on to the left, you'll see archives, and you'll be able to down through the archives and look for that one, because this very caring and concerned mother actually looked up the ingredients in vaccinations. This was posted on the 9th of August. So she says, so when the unknown author of the Facebook post faced with all the he said and she said of the vaccine debate, they decided to do some field research of their own. First, they looked up the ingredients list of the vaccines. Then they called poisons control and found out that yes, the vaccines they have been injecting into our kids are poisonous, literally. After reading this, think about what you have been misled into doing to your own children, and by whom. The same, in quotes, doctors, in quotes, and the same government services, corporations, that are lying through their teeth and collecting your DNA donations of the DNA as a result of this filthy, non-existent pandemic, a live exercise. And if anyone saw that video where Pompeo was talking about that this is just a live exercise, and I think Trump said, I wish somebody had told me. That was interesting. I'm not quite sure if I videoed it or not, but it's on there if you go and look, do a search. So this is a live exercise of their world government nonsense that has been planned for since 1984. Now, this is a time when I've been wanting to bring in the title of a paper called Silent Weapons for a Quiet War. If you do a search for William Cooper's Behold a Pale Horse, all right? William Cooper, Behold a Pale Horse. He put it in, it's in that book. And so lay your hands onto that book, and I think it's free online on the internet. Before they whip it off, go and take a copy, because he talks about what they were doing and what they plan to do, not just vaccinations, but to bring us into a one world order. Now, you can add in the word satanic for that as well. You just have to see what's coming up now with the amount of children that have been raped, murdered, abused in the most violent ways. It's very difficult actually to really realize the horrors of what have been going on. But if we don't look at those things, dear people, dear commenters, dear anyone who watches my YouTubes or comes across one or this one, if we don't talk about it, every single one of those people, and some of them are 50 and 60 years old now, and some of them are in their teens still, or even younger, will go unwitnessed, will go unbelieved, unknown, not knowing that it's going on. And the additional tragedy is that those of us who have children and grandchildren, if we don't speak about it, it can go on happening in our own backyard, so to speak. So it is horrible, and we really have to wake up to what is going on. So let me just go on a bit. So from these vaccinations, he goes on, she's saying, here's the report. I gathered all vaccine ingredients into a list and contacted the poisons control. And after intros and such as asking to speak with someone tenured and knowledgeable, this is the gist of the conversation. My question to you is, how are these ingredients categorized? Are they benign or poison? I ran a few ingredients: formaldehyde, twine 80, mercury, aluminium, phenoxyethanol, sorbitol, etc. And well, that's quite a list, he says. But I'd have to easily say that they're all toxic to humans, used in fertilizers, pesticides, to stop the heart, to preserve a dead body. They're registered with us in different categories, but pretty much poisons. Why? He asks. If I were deliberately to feed or inject my child with these ingredients often as a schedule, obviously I'd put my daughter in harm's way. But what would legally happen to me? Odd question, but you'd likely be charged with criminal negligence, perhaps with intent to kill, and of course child abuse. Your child would be taken away from you. Do you know of someone who's doing this to children? This is criminal. An industry. These are the ingredients used in vaccines with binding agents to make sure the body won't flush these out, to keep the antibody levels up indefinitely. What? Right. Well, it's go on and finish reading it, because it's very well worthwhile. Now, I really ought to have a picture there of Bill Gates in chains, but actually I'll bring something up in a minute. Here, the shocking situation in Australia, and this is from a woman, Cassie Coutras. I'm currently living under this communist rule here in Victoria. So we have stage 4 restrictions. So we cannot leave our home for more than 1 hour of exercise a day alone. Only one person to be in the supermarket a day. We have meat and food shortages. All businesses have been closed. You need papers to travel and attend essential work. You need to pass through multiple police checks points to go anywhere and produce your papers, i.e. where you live. We are not allowed more than 5 kilometers from our homes, and we have a curfew from 8 p.m. until 5 a.m. 100,000 fines for any business breaching these rules per person. We have the army and police going door to door checking our homes. Please Google what is happening to us. We need help. So please, can I ask anyone that picks this up, please would you do a search for this and put it out onto Facebook, put it out as far and wide as you can, because they are in Nazi Australia, no doubt about that at all. and it comes under the title, reader, This Needs to Be Known. Okay, that's also, I will put the link in the description box. Now, I mentioned about Bill Gates, okay, and needs to be with a ball and chain. Maybe he's actually is. Let's have a look at this. I think it's real. I'll let you make up your mind, and the whole of it will be in the description box. Because for this particular purpose, I'm going to jump pretty well straight to the end. Right, there's this. There's a little bit of chatter here, okay? But then come down to the bottom. We're not going to take it. Now, it's got some beautiful Tchaikovsky music, which you can't hear at the moment. And so you need to watch it, okay? But I'm going to come straight across to here. Okay. Okay. Now this was one of the pieces of music we did ballet. Right, now I want to bring in Delphin World, because we're at a point that is so important for people to know this information. Oh no, I've got that there. When you understand your thoughts and your words create your reality, then you are in power. You hold the reins to your life. Imagine you're riding a magnificent steed. And I think of my body and mind and emotion as a great, wonderful steed. So if you can guide this steed through the mind and know that whatever you think, whatever you say, you will create. And you'll create it very much depending on the emotional charge you have. If you've got an emotional charge of fear, it doesn't matter how much you say, I'm whole and I'm perfect and I'm wealthy and I'm safe and I'm right. So if you are saying that, but you're still feeling fear, you need to be able to have this tool, not just for looking into where is it that your fear originated. When you go through the course material, you will find it's a complete nonsense. And it's absolutely, when you discover the root of it, you can say, and you understand the universe and how that is all the time guiding you or directing you, then you can actually say, but if I choose to feel fear, of course I will get these fearful situations coming up. So look into the Delphin World and you'll see that you can take out a subscription for this, and I really do suggest that you do. In fact, it's false economy not to. Once that's done, I would suggest that you purchase one-time purchase of the Capstan experience, $50, again worth thousands. If you're at a juncture at this moment that a monthly sum of around about $50, or I think it's $59 a month, so 60 is too much, then get Capstan experience for a one-time payment of just under $50. Because your life will change, and then you'll find that actually then you can afford the monthly one, which is Live Success Now. To be without this knowledge is really the most devastating handicap anyone can have. And I bless the fact that Colin and I came across it all these years ago. I really don't know how I would have continued living my life without it. So I really encourage you, because it will give you the confidence that you deserve and the desire to discipline your thinking. So instead of having stinking thinking that create the reality that of what you don't want to show up in your life, then you can choose to have showing up in your life your dreams and your desires rather than your fears and the things that you feel and see as a threat. Having said that, we're going to get on to another subject.